Yo, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining Allan KweeWee Funk for Get Funked, not your average wrestling podcast. But before I bring our guest out here, I got to do a couple spots for our sponsors. We're going to do WrestlingUniverse.com. WrestlingUniverse.com. The Wrestling Universe is your one-stop shop for all your wrestling merchandise. They have all kinds of WWE, TNA, UFC, WCW, ECW action figures, past, present. They carry T-shirts, wrestling cards, autographed 8x10, mask, belts, and much more. They also have in-store signing, which me and my guest coming up actually did a couple months ago in New York. So if you're ever in New York, check these guys out and go to what is it? Oh, the WrestlingUniverse.com. WrestlingUniverse.com. I don't think we have a promo code for that one, but if there is a promo code, try MWA Pod. Maybe you get a deal on the website. I don't know. But if you're ever in New York, check them out. Just go to WrestlingUniverse.com, see when they're having autograph signs if you're in New York. And they also ship, their website ships internationally. So if you're overseas, they'll ship to you. Also, let's check out healthvape.com. Healthvape.com. It's your alternative to vaping. It's healthy vape. You got vitamins, minerals, energy boosters. Use code MWA Pod, get your 10% discount. That's healthvape.com, code MWA Pod for your 10%. Also, sleeves.com. No matter what athletics you're in, you can get dirty boxers, you get sleeves, you get all kinds of stuff. For any sport, just check them out at sleeves.com. Again, code MWA Pod, you get 10% off sleeves.com, so check them out. So I'm going to bring my guest in here. Old buddy of mine, WCW superstar, WWE superstar, Lucha Libre USA superstar, and he was probably the biggest superstar in the Mexico circuit, CMLL champion, and probably any other Mexican wrestling organization you could think of. He was a man. So let's bring him on in, Mark Jindrak. All right, baby. What's up? Thanks for coming in, Mark. I appreciate it, buddy.
Man, it was no doubt, man. It's great to see you. It's always good to see you.
All right, man. So we got, okay. So Mark, I got, you're going to see these, you see these things popping up here.
I do.
People will be chiming in here, but this is my girl, Annette. And she's in Australia.
Oh, Australia.
Down around
a good day, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Around the Melbourne area. So this girl here, Annette, as soon as I hit the lotto, I'm going to move to Australia. She's going to move into my mansion. She's going to be my cook for me.
Nice.
Among other things. But she says, "What's up, Mark? How are you? Hope all is well." So she's here to catch up with us.
Oh, well, thanks a lot for joining in on that. It's great to meet you, and maybe I'll fly over with him to Australia. We'll start a federation over there.
Hey, listen, Rick Cornell's coming with us too, but I already told Rick, hands off Annette. She's my girl.
Oh, it's all yours. I'm a married man, so married man.
So hey, Annette says, "Good day, mate."
Good day.
She's eating herself a Vegemite sandwich.
Vegemite sandwich.
So, all right, man, let's get started, Mark. You want to talk about anything starting off, or?
No, I mean, just you tell me.
Yeah,
man. I watched a lot of your other interviews, and man, they've been real conversational and cool. So
yeah, man, I kind of like just let it flow. But of course, we're going to talk about how you and I met. I had you did your tryout at the power plant. I'm not sure how long before me, but you were there when I did my tryout.
Yeah. I fucking got in your face, dude.
You did.
Did I?
You said, "Give me fucking 50 squats, buddy. I'm gonna fucking dent your eye."
I wasn't like that though. I wasn't the big
No, you weren't. But you and Chuck kind of remind me. You kind of stood back, and when someone did something, I was like, "Oh, wow." I can see you and Chuck doing that.
Yeah, but
you and Chuck were kind of egging people on.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget about Sonny. Sonny
was notorious for that too. So So after I met you, me and my fiance at the time, I ended up marrying her, TJ. So we remember we were getting an apartment down there at a townhome right off Atlanta Road, close to the power plant. And you'd planned on maybe moving in with me. You remember that?
Yeah. And in fact, people may not know this, is the apartment that we're talking about was right across the street from where Julia Roberts went to middle school.
Oh, at Campbell Middle School?
Did you know that? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's true. I almost moved in with you. I got my girl knocked up. and I had to make a woman out of her. So I was scrambling at the time. I was working at Ruby Tuesday, right
Ruby
there.
Tuesdays, that's right.
In Smyrna,
right on South Cobb Drive, right?
Right in South Cobb Drive, and so it, that brings back so much memories, and that's where kind of all began, right in that little area of Smyrna, and
yeah, that's where it all began for us. So the reason you couldn't move in with me, because my landlord was having a fit, because he only expected me and my ex-wife to move in there.
Yeah.
And he said, no way can I have somebody move in with me.
Yeah, that's it was for the best anyways. I mean, that marriage lasted about we had the baby and then done, divorced.
Yeah, well, I guess that's about. I blinked and mine was over as well. So
yeah, I mean that happens.
Is that Low Rider or is that Lou? I'm not sure.
No gentleman here. Who are you talking to? Ain't no gentleman over the screen.
Oh, that's Lou. Dead Prez Lou. What's up, Boogaloo? He said, "What's up, gentlemen?" Boogaloo does one of our podcasts on here, Nights of the Gimmick Table. It's on Sunday nights at 9. If you ever want to check it out, Mark, they got some good stuff on that show.
Definitely.
So, but they said, hey, but yeah. So then you couldn't move in with me, and I'm not really sure where you went after that.
What happened? We ended up we got an apartment. You actually helped when we bringing a mattress over. You helped. We got in your truck.
Oh, okay.
We bought a bed over on Cobb Parkway. We lived right near the new power plant, not the old one.
Yeah, on Log Cabin.
Log Cabin, yep. And
okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so we lived there. That's officially where the baby was born. And my first son, the 21-year-old Marcus.
Yeah.
And that bought us enough time for me to get a contract and eventually, make something of myself in this world.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, you did a little better than I did in the business, but I always like me, you, Johnny the Bull, Chuck, all the guys that I've had on, Rick Cornell, and I still feel like I'm good buddies with you guys, even though we don't stay in touch a lot of times. We might lose touch for a while, but if we ever text each other or something, it's like we never skipped a beat.
Nothing skipped a beat. When we saw each other in New York there.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah, it was like we stepped back in the power plant. It was like yesterday, right?
Yeah. Except for all of us are old as shit now.
and I had to stand on my tiptoes in those pictures just to make myself not look like a midget.
Yeah, my old tricks. Marco, you're in back. Okay, no problem. I always prop my hands up on their shoulders, thinking I was like taking a friendship photo. I was actually propping myself up 3 inches higher.
like you need to.
Yeah. Because, but yeah, man, it was like I said, we never skipped a beat. We spent and went through so many things together at that power plant, and it just and it comes full circle, like obviously you saw those Paul Orndorff stuff in the news lately. We recently saw a better picture of him, more healthy looking.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. You've been following that stuff?
Kind of. Yeah, I didn't. I know he was bad. He kind of got bad before and then good and bad,
yeah. Well, he had cancer a few years back.
Yeah. But he's a tough bastard. So, I mean, I'm sure the cancer said, fuck, I can't hang out with this guy anymore. I'm out.
Yeah, no shit, right? You're probably right, man.
So.
But the latest his son put up late where he's drinking a beer. You saw that one?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He's a tough dude, like. The guy, I mean, unfortunately, my last connection with him was when he got that stinger pile driving me.
Oh yeah. We'll get to that. That was at a Fall Brawl pay-per-view in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I actually remember I had a run-in coming into that match too.
You did? Did we double hip toss you over or?
No. That was right when me and Charmel came down Paisley, and then that's when Paul. I think he was getting you up for a pile driver. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he kind of stoved his neck or he had some kind of stinger or something.
Yeah, he had a stinger and we'll get into that because I want to defend myself a little on that because I got unfairly
people said you dead asked him, right?
And if we when we go back to that, I'll document how blown up he was, and no offense to Orndorff, but he was a tough trainer, he was a tough trainer and sometimes he was one of these dudes that preach, and it all came to a head in that pay-per-view match,
Yeah, we'll talk about that. What you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I remember, and I talked about this with Cornell. I think it was. We'll talk about it later. But okay, so let's talk about we're at the power plant, whatever. So when then we started getting on TV and stuff. And then you and remember me and Sanders were doing that AA team, and we put you and Sean O'Hara over on one of the shows.
It was not a dark match. It was on like what was that show called?
It was like Worldwide, maybe, or
Worldwide, yeah.
Or
it was a great match, you know, like it was.
It was awesome.
Short, sweet. It was a hot crowd. It was in Montana, was it?
No, it was in Roanoke, Virginia.
You sure? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was in Virginia. Yeah.
Okay. I think the next week. Yeah.
Yeah, because we were. I remember in the hotel afterwards. Sean was like, how was it? We were talking to Sean about it. And I can remember like it was yesterday, dude. And it's just funny how some of the things you remember, like some of his facial expressions and stuff in the room.
Yeah. It was a good time, because we fought so hard to get there, like.
Oh yeah, all of us did.
Yeah, and
so I mean, you know what, Sean, not as much as us, not taking nothing away from the kid because he was an unbelievable athlete and his body was ridiculous. But and like I said, not taking nothing away from him, but he didn't go through the stuff to get there like we did.
Yeah, and
he earned his spot.
Yeah. What's up, Lowrider?
Yeah, that's the other one of the dead presidents. He's got that show, the Knights of the Gimmick Table. Him and his brother. Yeah, that's Piers. He does talking. What is it? Talking shit or no? Wait a minute. Oh shit.
Shooting the shit.
Yeah, shooting the shit. He's gonna kill me. I'm sorry, Piers. Shooting the shit, kid. That's a shoot right there, kid.
Good old KweeWee.
That's right. So I got all these guys on this MWA podcast network. You'll see them sitting there like this, and they'll be like, "Shit, yeah, kid." That's right. So so we put you and Sean over, and then not too long after that, now you and Sean had the belts together, right?
Yeah. That what we're talking about right there probably went on around May of 2000. Yeah. And we had the belts in September.
Okay.
And our official Nitro debut was June 26th. I know that because of my birthday. It was my 23rd birthday, and we beat Ray and Hoovy.
Yeah.
Nitro.
Yeah. So that right there is just, I actually, people don't know, I beat Rey Mysterio, Lash LaRue, Billy Kidman, Elix Skipper, like 3 other guys in the cruiserweight title to fight Sanders at the pay-per-view. Yeah. So at least I got that under my belt. I beat all these guys in one match, and nobody really remembers that.
Absolutely no, but I mean, unfortunately, WCW the last few years were kind of a blur. It was a lot of shit just thrown together trying to save the company. But luckily for us, we got a good opportunity. Because they were trying to get something to stick. And
yeah. Well, I mean, the Natural Born Thrillers. Now you guys were on. If there was 10 segments on Nitro, you guys were on freaking 7 of them.
We're on a lot of them. I'll look back at them sometimes. And Kevin Nash, he was always fun. In the locker room.
Oh yeah.
He was and that was kind of like I want to say whenever I get a chance to put Kevin Nash over, I like to, because I don't know if you remember this, but he always used to treat us like one of the boys, no matter what.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I always say that about Kevin when people ask me about him.
Yeah. And I not to get too like, bitchy about it, but like, I remember at one point, like early on, we had, I don't think you were there. I think it was me, Chuck, and Sanders, and we had a couple HWA spots.
Yeah. I remember you guys telling me about that, and Kevin was there.
Kevin was there the first night, and we were all timid and shit, and he was in his locker room, and he had like fucking 40 beers, and he kept walking by like Marks, to go shake his hand. He goes, "You fucking boys drink?" And I was like, yeah. We started drinking beer.
Yeah, right, kid. We fucking drink.
Yeah, and then and that was like, he shared stories with us. He talked, he made us feel like we made it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Then, and not, and then the next night, DDP was with us at the.
Oh,
the
okay, DDP. I remember that now. Yeah.
And that's kind of where I mean,
that's where Mike Sanders stole his shit, right?
we all kind of stole his shit. It provided like 6 months of this like pure comedy, like.
Oh yeah, dude, he was a trip.
I'm sorry, but I always thought the DDP was a douche, and if he was here, I'd say it to his face, he was kind of a douche. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel.
Well, he definitely rubbed some people the wrong way.
Well, I mean, like just common shit, like.
Do you remember when we rode with him in the car and he wouldn't move his fucking seat up?
Like, I'm literally fucking, here's my knees.
Yeah, well, remember me? I'm sitting right behind him, and I asked him to put his seat up, and he's like, "Bro, I got ice on my knees. I ain't moving.
Yeah, and see that's some bitch shit, and like
that is,
and that's why like I've always based who I hang with and who I call a friend in this wrestling business by would I hang out with them just if it would take wrestling out of the situation. Would I hang out with a dude?
Yeah.
And I would never hang out with a dude like that. No. Not courteous. No, my knees. You're fucking 6'2", Dick. I'm 6'6".
Yeah, and we're sitting behind you. And not that I'm the tallest guy in the world, but that. You know what? If we could do that today, I bet that motherfucker wouldn't do it to me today. I'd pull that motherfucker out of the car and snap him in half.
Yeah, like what the fuck you doing, yoga boy?
But yeah, I remember that. That's when I got a bad taste in my mouth with him.
And it always stuck with me. It always stuck with me. And then the Natural Born Thrillers, we had like a little bit of a angle with Nash when we turned on Nash, and then DDP came back, and
yeah,
it was just I never just setting up the matches. He would not give you anything.
Yeah, of course.
Him. Then you get some offense. Give me a boot there, brother. It's like, and that was the kind of like the problem. Towards the end of WCW, it was like, it's just a lot of resistance. Guys didn't want to work with us and stuff. Young guys, So it was just, but an overall experience. Like when I get a chance to put over Kevin Nash and put him over, and when I get a chance to bury DDP, I bury DDP.
You know what? Brad Armstrong, this is another incident of DDP really left a bad taste in my mouth. At his fucking calling hours, I just ignored him. I didn't even want to really talk to him because you know how he is. If you ignore him, it fucking drives him crazy.
Yeah.
So he's sitting over there in a pew with like house slippers on and jeans with his feet up on a pew. Like, why would you sit in a church with your feet up on a pew or a funeral home? That's fucking disrespectful.
Yeah.
And then he's just over there sitting like this. And then finally he looks at me and goes, bro, hey, Allan, you ain't going to say hi to me? I was like, oh, hey, Paige, I didn't see you. And I was talking to Johnny Swinger. Of course I saw you. You're a fucking asshole. Why the fuck would I say anything to you?
Can you move up the seat? Can you move your seat up 2 inches so I can get some better room?
You think you can move the pew up for me? No, DDP, I ain't fucking moving.
He's still sitting back, and I can still see him now sitting back. And people like that don't change, I'm sure he's got his, his congratulations to his yoga stuff, his yoga success, and I'm sure.
Yeah, he treats a lot of people good, but he treats a lot of people bad too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you got to treat everyone good, no matter what. That's the sign of a true like superstar, really. Treating the janitor the same as you would treat the CEO. And
character, man. That has, that's all character. But
enough about him. Enough of that, Mark.
Hey, you fucking monkey. Hey, monkey, you want to get in it?
Yeah, but we stole all this shit for about 6 months.
Well, even Ross Foreman used to kiss his ass all the time, right? One more quick thing, but even Ross Foreman was making fun of him because one time I'm in there talking. DDP's got. You remember he had like 4 cell phones back in like 2000.
Yeah,
and people barely had one. He's got fucking 4. I'm DDP. I need 4, bro. Really? Okay, whatever. So then I would talk. Me and Ross and somebody else was talking about juicing, like vegetables and shit. And then of course, Paige. Hey, bro, I got a $2,000 juicer, bro. You got to see my juicer. It's like me and Ross just always now. If I talk to Ross today, he'd probably mention that.
Yeah, I actually became friends with Ross on Facebook. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Dude, I hate that I reactivated my Facebook. I hadn't had it in 4 years. I delete 50 people a day on this fucking thing. These people drive me nuts on Facebook. And you don't get that on Instagram.
No, you don't.
That's why I like Instagram. Different,
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they all just kind of.
That's right, Piers.
Yeah, that's right, Piers.
Hey, so Mazamune asked how it was playing D3 basketball in college.
I mean, it was D3, like obviously I played a couple of years and I forego going and play my junior year just to become a wrestler. That it was cool, but Division 3, like there was no ends there, like I was an athletic dude. So I always wanted to do something with my athletics. I didn't want to sit behind a desk. So I'm glad wrestling came my way, but it was fun. What I learned playing basketball was just camaraderie in a team, like that's really what it was for me. So from basketball, how did you get into wrestling from that? You saw an ad for the power plant, or how'd that work? No, this is actually a good story, and I'll tell it real quick. But so take your time, buddy. It's your show. So teammates of mine I played basketball with, they after my sophomore year, I was going to be a junior. They were graduating and they were going to move down to Orlando to start their careers. I think they were in food service. Yeah. So they said, hey, Mark, why don't you come down for the summer, help us out, drive our car. I mean, drive our U-Haul so we can drive our cars and bring our stuff and spend the, we're going to be they're on International Boulevard where SeaWorld was. We're going to, they got an apartment. So I was going to spend the summer. That was my plan. So what I did was, because I didn't have a car and they worked all day pretty much, nearby was a Denny's, SeaWorld Denny's, okay, on International Drive. I got a job waiting tables and they put me in the night shift, okay?
Yeah.
Because I was the fucking shits. They put me in the night shift.
I was a shits kid.
But the deal was, because I worked the night shift because no one wanted to, they'd give me the weekends off so I could hang with my boys, the guys I play basketball with, and get myself acquainted. Yeah. So one night, maybe it was almost time for me to kind of go back to school. It was like August of maybe, I don't know what year it was. August. But anyways, I was waiting tables. It was like 11:30 at night, just starting my shift. And WCW used to tape in Universal Studios in Orlando. They used to do their little small bullshit show.
It was Saturday night, right?
Yeah. And so basically one of my tables was
hold on a second. Fun fact, Mark. My producer president, Jindrak, had the highest vertical leap in WWE history, and his personal best is over 42 inches. Is this any truth to this?
I don't, I didn't measure. I never measured. We never measured it, but one time backstage at WWE, I jumped up. Like there was like 50 people, including Shane O'Mac and Vince, everybody, and there was a thing on the ceiling in Staples Center. And Randy Orton and I were just walking around being putzes, and he's like, "Can you touch that?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I can touch that shit."
Fuck yeah, kid.
He's like, "No, you can't." And just as we were like arguing about it, Shane McMahon comes around the corner. He's like, "What are you guys fucking jawing about?" I'm like, and Shane McMahon loved feats of athleticism. So no way you can touch that. And before you know it, like writers were getting on the meeting, Vince McMahon. And I jumped up and touched it, and it was 12 feet. Shane O'Mac was measured. It was 12 feet 2 inches.
And he was shitting his pants.
So 12 feet 2 inches. I mean, that's about it's quite a ways over 14 inches over the rim. So
no kidding.
24, 26 inches over the rim. So
I
probably, it might be truthful. Like you saw how I was a pretty fast runner too. So.
Hey, just don't forget, I beat you and Sonny and Cal, brother.
I remember. That was yesterday. Like you beat me one time. Johnny the Bull beat me one time in a 100-yard dash. But it was the rest was pretty much down.
Did Johnny the Bull beat you in a race?
One time. But
I gotta remember that. I remember when Sonny challenged you and he got a 10-yard head start and you still beat him.
Yeah. It was beat up. But not to get off topic, that when I was at the restaurant.
Yeah. Sorry about that, buddy.
I see a table, and I saw one dude wearing wrestlers kind of dress weird. The
high techs.
Well, no, one guy. Well, yeah, high techs, and the guy had Daisy Duke cut off shorts, and
is that Stevie Richards?
Wrestlers walk all like bow legged and blowed out. One guy was Barry Houston. His name was. I don't know if you remember Barry Houston. We saw.
I wrestled him several times up in Nashville.
Yes.
Barry Houston.
It was him. And then there was Alex Wright there, who was kind of more reserved. So
I love Alex Wright.
Yeah, and I didn't know him. It's funny because we wrestled so many times. Even they beat us for the tag team belts. Him and Hugh Morris. Yeah. So he wouldn't really say much, but Barry was very loose, and he was talking to me. He's, "Oh man, you're pretty big, Mark. You like wrestling?" And I was like, "Yeah, And we got talking about wrestling, and then he told me there were wrestlers and stuff, and with WCW and. Which is, the conversation was nice. So basically, but the whole conversation got turned around. Like my whole thing, I was a basketball player and going back to school. And so what happened was those guys left. Good rapport. I remember seeing Barry leave. Me. I'm always been an athlete's athlete. Like I look at guys. If I could run faster, jump higher, better look than you, then I just it's hard for me to not think that I can. And I look out the window and the guy's pulling away in a brand new Cadillac, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta maybe I should wrestle, but it's just whatever. The night went on. Okay. A few hours later, it's just like 3 a.m, 4 a.m. It's me, the dishwasher, and the cook. That's it. Me, dishwasher, cook.
Yeah.
2 kids walk in. One had a baseball cap in. He's like, "Hey, you got 4 quarters for $1, man?" I said, "Absolutely." I open the drawer. I look up. One gun's pointed at my head, and another kid pulls out a pipe.
God,
he goes, "You got 10 seconds to give me all the money." I said, "Man, you can have all the money. Just don't shoot." I put the money on the thing. He took the money. They left. I was, immediately me being young and stupid, I was like, holy shit.
Clothesline him, kid.
I thought it was kind of cool. Like I just survived danger. I'm a young, small, Syracuse ass community. Like I'm in Orlando now, this shit, I just got held up, like it's a story. So whatever, the police come. I fill out the report. I end up going home like 5:30 in the morning. Okay.
God. I never knew this story. This is news to me.
So these guys, it's good. These guys are still sleeping, my roommates. So I don't want to go home and wake them up. They got a 12-hour day in front of them. So I decide, you know what? Before I'm going to wait for them to wake up at 6:30ish. I'm going to go to the community pool hot tub and go just chill out in the pool. Yeah. I go there, and lo and behold, who's there? It's Barry Houston. He was dating a girl in the same community, apartment community as me. Yeah. So I tell him what happened, obviously, and I go, man, I got, this happened, and he goes, holy shit. And now by this time he's drunk and shit, but he goes, see, you're some young Mark. You could have died tonight. Knock on wood, you could have died. And he goes, I'll tell you what, I want to pay for your tryout in the power plant. I want you to try out to be a wrestler. And I was like, he's like, just try out. I'll pay it. It's $300. You drive up to Atlanta. Yeah. It's a trial for 3 days. If you make it, it could change the course of your life. You're gonna go pro in basketball? I was like, no. So we had a long ass conversation, and he goes, tell you what do you got going on tomorrow? I said, really nothing. I just the cops are coming to my house. I got to fill out, try to do those composite reports to try and make out the suspect. Yeah. I said, besides that, nothing. He goes, okay, I'll come get you tomorrow, 3:30, and come with me to Universal Studios with my guest. And I was like, holy shit. And by this time, I'm convinced, I'm going to try out. Fuck it, I'm going to try out. Fuck it, And he brings me there, and that's that. Now, fast forward, when you were talking about wrestling, he asked me if I watched wrestling, and I did. Yeah. Up to when I hit, up to when sports and heavily started and girls came along, I put all that wrestling and video game shit down. Yeah. All the pussy. So basically, my memories of wrestling have been old school 80s, the Hulkster, Bruce the Beefcake,
Orndorff,
all those guys, Orndorff, all those guys. And Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, so he brought me down and he was introducing all these people. I'm seeing my fucking childhood flash before there's Mr. Perfect, there's Rick Rude, holy shit. There's fucking Rookie Goldberg was there. I think he was at win number 31 or something. I remember passing Booker T, Harlem Heat, and Barry. He was introducing me so nice to everyone. He goes, "Hey, Book, Stevie, this is Mark. He's trying at the power plant at the end of the month." And Booker said, "Don't hurt no one, Mark." And then I ended up wrestling Booker several times. In WrestleMania 20, we were against his tag team. All that fucking going on, and then I remember he took me to meet Sarge, who was on Ring Crew, who was setting up the ring, and Sarge,
shit.
He's fucking pissed. He's halfway through setting the ring. Yeah. He's probably had too less of sleep, too much miles on the road, not enough coffee or those fucking
not enough gimmicks.
And Barry goes, "Hey Sarge, why don't you meet Mark? He's trying out at the end of the month." He goes, "Do your fucking squats." Said, "Do your fucking squats."
I can see him saying that too.
So I was ready to do my squats when I came, but all that shit and met all those guys, met everyone. And then the last cherry on the topic, I wasn't gonna stick around for the show. It started getting hectic around showtime. Kind of bowed out and just was gonna go home, right? Yeah. Taxi home. But as I'm leaving, here's the cherry on the fucking cake. As I'm walking out of the hangar, the building there where they were filming, in comes a fucking Mercedes 500. That's 500, and it's bad as shit, and it slows down. I couldn't see, it's all tinted out. He slows down, rolls down the window. It's fucking Macho Man, and he goes, looks at me, and he goes, "Oh, I thought you were Alex Wright." And he drove on, and that was it. And
that sold you.
20 days later, I tried out at the power plant. I think maybe
how many guys were in your tryout?
About 25 or 26. By day 2, there was three left.
Yeah, that's about the average.
My tryout was who passed me. Remember Charles? He was partners with Elix for a while.
Oh yeah.
Charles.
Yeah.
Was that his
I
name?
don't remember his name, but yeah, I do remember that guy.
Charles. He was from Huntsville, Alabama, I think.
Yeah, I remember him.
Tag with Elix Skipper early on.
Yeah,
he was there. He made it, and then you remember? I think his name. Fuck, I can't. Tong. He was like an Asian fella.
Yeah, you're talking about ping pong. We called him
Ping pong. Yeah. And him. And it was basically just us three, and that was it.
Damn.
So I made it, and and fast forward, like, so that was
Lowrider said that's an awesome way to get a tryout, which it is. I didn't even know that story. I'm glad you shared that because I had no clue about that story.
It's a really cool story. Like in the course of one night, my life changed.
Yeah,
and the thing
no doubt.
was like for people back at home in Auburn, New York, Syracuse, New York area, who I was supposed to go back and play basketball at D3 college of Cuca. It's called Cuca, and obviously when I was going to go try out and I made it, this is like the end. I was supposed to be at school. I just quit school. I fucking quit school. And you can imagine, like,
what did your parents think about that?
They didn't, my God rest their soul, my mom and my dad, who's still in Auburn, New York, they supported me. They were supporting me through thick and thin. I just did it, but it was a fucking. I was shooting up a Hail Mary to people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
They would have made Marco's been doing drugs in Orlando, I think.
but listen, when we were down to power plant, I don't think there was any of us that actually made it on TV talking about, like, me, you, Palumbo, Sanders, Rick Cornell, Elix Skipper. We all knew we were going to make it. There was just something about us that we just, we knew we were going to make it on TV. That's pretty accurate, right?
Yeah, and the satisfaction for me too, for all the naysayers and the you ain't gonna, what are you doing with your life? It paid off really quick because you remember, if you remember early on, Terry Taylor and a couple execs came down and they go, you. I think it was Elix. Was it Joey Denson? I want to say.
Yeah.
Me and Sanders. They used us for TV security.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, it was Joey Denson. And then later on, I did it a couple weeks later.
Yes. And I got heat with Doug Dillinger right off the bat. That's
so people don't know Doug Dillinger. He was the head of security at WCW. Sometimes he was a motherfucker, right?
Yeah, he was a Dixon, but he ended up being cool at the end.
Yeah, he was cool though overall.
And the thing was that was like retribution right away. Like a couple months in, literally, the power plant up to then, there was all this folklore of like, oh, Goldberg and Big Show trained here. Yeah, exactly. For fucking 3 hours.
Yeah, and Kenny Chaos. Yeah.
Until before then, the power plant was just like, it was a cool camp, but like it was good for like interviews and shit. But like, it really wasn't producing any stars. And
it was a fucking money pit. They had 30 guys paying $250 a month to try out there. It was a fucking money pit.
They just never used anybody. So, we were the generation where they said, you know what, we're gonna fucking. We're gonna
break the mold.
Yeah, we were gonna break the mold, and so although I made that decision, people thought I made a wrong decision, quitting basketball and school and stuff. But within 3-4 months, they saw me on Nitro. I remember one time like a young kid, like you get thrown out into the wolves. Like now I'm in the show amongst in the locker room with everybody. So now I'm politicking in the hotels after shows at Nitro and Thunder and stuff. The bar was a place to be. Everybody was there. It was hot when I was, it was hot. Goldberg, NWO, Hogan, like I remember gargling shots of Jack Daniels with Kurt Hennig, talking to, getting yelled at DDP because I was smooching with Nitro girls. Hey, don't you got a job to do?
It's kind of hard to get heat in this business.
Yeah. And it was like, then people who were watching Nitro back at home saw me with a security shirt on in a blurb and they go, oh wow, I saw, like they thought I was part of the show, which I was part of the show.
Yeah.
So like one time my first TV was in Dallas, I think we were. First of all, Chuck Norris was there and Jean-Claude Van Damme backstage. My first participation as security, TV security, I got laid out I had to lay on the ground with a fucking mop bucket because Hogan laid me out.
Yeah.
That shit.
I actually remember that.
That shit. Like I made it before I made it, like I was able to politic. You remember I got me and Chuck Palumbo a dark match well before our time. We were green as shit. We were the Soul Surfers.
Oh yeah. Because Kid Romeo helped me out, giving everybody gimmicks, and I always had great matches with him, so he wanted to use me, so it helped me out.
Kid Romeo, like he's doing pretty well for himself in Orlando. Still, he's doing pest control.
Yeah, I had him on the show.
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of that
a few weeks back.
He's a pest control. Now he can control himself. He's a fucking pest. No, but it's always fun to comment on little blurbs on his Instagram pages and stuff, you know?
Oh yeah. Sam's a good guy. He's he's a 55-year-old, 12-year-old.
In fucking best shape ever still, you know?
Oh, I know. He looks amazing.
Still looks the same.
Yeah, he does.
And and a lot of guys, you look at the power plant, like, let's give everyone kind of some praise. You know, Chuck, he's still doing his thing. You know,
Chuck looks great too, man.
Sanders,
Rick Cornell still looks good. Sanders is in great shape. He runs a lot and stuff. He lost a lot of weight.
Yep. He runs a successful business and stuff.
Now Elix kind of fell off. What was that? I love when Jindrak was in 3 count. That's a shoot, kid.
I wasn't in 3 count.
I know he's busting your chops.
Oh,
that's Angel Kingpin. He was one of the ECW originals.
Oh, nice.
So he likes breaking people's balls.
He's a ball breaker, is he?
Yeah. See, he don't have his
JK. Just kidding.
Hey, Kingpin, you don't have your own gimmick, so you're stealing other people's. That's a shoot, kid. He likes doing that shit right here. That's a shoot, kid.
It's a shoot.
So yeah, man, I'm glad you told those stories, Mark. I really didn't know any of that stuff. You got into business and stuff.
It was, it was a series of I'm a Christian, so I believe it's a series of faith, like you just keep the faith and
oh yeah.
And things come your way. And those are the influential people that came in my life. Barry Houston, another one, solid. Chris Solid Long,
oh yeah.
Who we could probably
he was with us on Lucha Libre USA.
Yeah. And that was when I early on the power plant before I got that was another good thing about this security gig. Yeah. So now instead of us having to pay every month, which we did still, they end up paying us for every Nitro and Thunder. I think I got $300 a pop each one. So I was getting paid $600 a week on being on the road.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Unbelievable, dude.
Instead of paying money to, well, you know what? I only made one payment. Or you know what? I didn't make any payments to the power plant. We kind of got our deals before that happened.
I made one. And
I don't think any of us should have had to pay anyway, dude. That was ridiculous, paying $3,000 to get on there and train.
Yeah, and it became quickly. It became like Mr. Hamilton knew that our class was going to be something special. They weren't going to deny us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you weren't going to deny us. Nothing against all the other guys that were there before. We just came in and there's a lot of guys too that never really carried on past that. I remember JT Greed.
You're a good guy, man.
Paul Knox, Joey Dents. You know what I'm saying? All those dudes were so vital and instrumental and they're part of the crew too. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, not all can make it. You know what I'm saying? But all solid workers. You know what I'm saying? All solid dudes, solid workers. And I heard Cornell talk about this. We were so close knit and stuff. We
were.
And it was always that core. You know what I'm saying? It was that core. There are guys that come in and out.
Yeah.
But there was core.
But we always stayed together.
Yeah. And
then not too long after that, we started doing security stuff. Then Paul Orndorff comes in. We have to have matches. He tells all of us, I don't know if you remember this that day or whatever. Put that gun away, kid.
Put those little fucking 15s away.
So I remember up in New York, Sanders kept looking at me going, what kind of shit you on, Funk?
You're always in great shape. You still are, man.
I tried, man. I just turned 50 yesterday.
No, happy birthday, bro.
Thanks, man.
Was it 2 weeks ago? I turned 44,
Yeah, you and I think Huger about the same age, right?
Yeah, same. He was he's lo and behold, his birthday is 420.
Oh, come on. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, he turned 44. 44. And that's another dude that I want to shout out. That's my boy from
yeah. And Johnny's he's in good shape. I think he gained a little bit of weight, but I think he's working on losing it now.
Yeah. And he will. And he probably looks heavier because he's fucking rich as fuck. Let me state, this dude's doing better for himself after wrestling than he did during wrestling.
Oh yeah, no doubt, Johnny. And it's funny because I think if you would ask anybody about brain common sense wise, I don't think they'd put Johnny in that category back in the day.
Well, I mean, book smart. You're not going to get all the 50 capitals of each state out of them. You know what I'm saying? No. But common sense, street smarts. I mean, he was smarter than all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why he's like a cat. You can throw him off any which way, and he's always going to land on his feet. Always. Like he was in Mexico at his fucking lowest point ever in my couch. Sleeping on my couch in Mexico. Yeah. And like literally, I felt bad for the dude. Like it just Mexico didn't hit for me like it hit. It didn't hit for him like it hit for me. You know. So it didn't work out for him. But he goes home and like gets in the banking or some shit or mortgages, and he's fucking making 6 figures in a blink of an eye. Like
no shit, right?
And you know he's with investments, and his thing was just like all of us. Like, but him more than probably ever. He wasn't afraid to fucking take chances. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He wasn't afraid to.
Well, none of us are. We wouldn't have been in the situation we were in to begin with.
Yeah. So in that regard, like, man, like, and I could say that about a lot of guys, you know, we could talk about power, you know, when we were at the power plant too, we had those independent gigs at good old days, you know.
Those were the best shows, man.
Best shows ever. We had WCW guys there to watch us, you know.
Yeah, we had Canyon, always Kidman.
Canyon. Big Reese.
Yeah, Ron Reese, Glacier.
We had a nice little following.
Oh yeah, dude, it was awesome, man. And you know, you were the #1 babyface. I was #1 heel. We had a hell of a feud down there.
It was, bro. It was good.
Mark Millennium.
Mark Millennium. Yep. But but then we transferred over to the Soul Surfers. Me and Chuck Palumbo.
Yeah. Trust me, I got hit with them fucking skateboards more than once. Some stiff fuckers. Fuck. I remember I'd come out of there. I thought my hands were broke. I had knots on my head from Chuck hitting me with that fucking skateboard.
Man, I just followed Chuck's lead on that gimmick.
My god, dude, he was so stiff with them damn fucking them skateboards. Oh my god.
Yeah, we had just great. It was great, man. It was great.
So good old days for people. This was a bar, an actual bar that they had a ring set up, and then they had like a I guess a patio around it, like where you could zip them up and down in case it rained or whatever. Yep. And do you remember the American Pie was right across the street, right?
Yeah, American Pie.
We go there on Friday nights, dude. I remember we'd be at the power plant. We couldn't wait till Friday nights.
Could not wait.
You know, we're going to good old days, and we're going to blow the house down. All of a sudden, we start. I mean, hundreds of people would flock to this place just to watch us wrestle. And then, do you remember the one Friday night when I got on the mic and started yelling at people with the American Pie, and I got so much heat that they all started paying admission to come over there. They wanted to beat my ass.
Yeah, no.
And then I had to have the police escort me to my car like every Friday.
Man, that was everywhere. You did that same in Columbia
or Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Yep, just inside Kentucky. You had 7 bodies and 14 teeth chasing after you.
Shit, not that many teeth. Don't give him that good credit.
But that you know,
thanks, Low Rider.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Low Rider! Belated birthday from Low Rider.
Low Rider. So let's talk about. Let's get back on. Not to cut you off, Mark, but we're already. See, I told you these go fast. We're already 44 minutes into the show. Okay. So we're doing the Saturday night stuff. Then we all get on Nitro. We're working stuff. I'm wrestling Sanders, and that's when Thrillers are always ganging up on me. Then I tag up with Ming against you guys, and we do a whole deal with that kind of stuff. But it kind of just ended out of nowhere. And then from there, WCW folds. How'd you learn about WCW getting bought out by WWE?
I was in the final. We were there in Panama City, right?
Yeah.
I had I had the opening match of that night, a dark match. It was a dark before we went live. And I wrestled Jet. Jason Jet was his name, right?
Yeah. Easy Money.
Easy Money, yep. And
Jason
wrestled him in a dark match, and then we coming back before the show started. I remember Shane McMahon and other officials from WWE coming and talking to us. And to be honest with you, like I felt good. I felt like we had enough TV and enough, like we're that type of WWE body. At the same time, wrestling was a lot different. It was still the land of the big man, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't until like the Benoits and the Eddie Guerreros and started coming along. The cruiserweights that really start, the Rey Mysterios and Hoovy and all the cruiserweights that showed their stuff gave a position for the.
But they didn't have a spot in WWE yet. This was all in WCW.
No. Yeah, so I felt pretty secure. We were making we had show pay. I think our guarantee was like super small. Like
it was crap.
Yeah, so I was luckily one of the first 10 guys to contract picked up. You know, it wasn't hard to pick my contract up. It was like fucking picking up a notebook.
Yeah, mine was lower than yours. So, but
Yeah.
so but then you didn't have to, or no, you didn't go down to HWA, did you?
Eventually, me and O'Hare did. You know, and then during that invasion, we were part of that invasion gimmick. But
yeah,
unfortunately, like a couple of us, you know, we just.
Well, they dropped the ball on that shit, dude.
Well, yeah, but we were still green. Our work rate was not WWE work rate. WWE was putting on some fantastic shit at that time. That was like part of wrestling, and we were right in going to HWA, and then eventually they shipped me and O'Hare from HWA over to OVW, where that camp. Let me remind people of that camp when they moved us over there. It was here's class every day. Here's who was in our class. It was me, Sean O'Hare, Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin, Dave Bautista, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton,
Cena,
John Cena,
the Basham brothers,
Nick
Rico,
Rico, girls as Victoria, Jackie Gata. I mean, just think about, you know, John Heidenreich. All those guys, and then, you know, that basically we eventually all dumped down the TV there. From there, and arguably that was probably one of the best classes, you know, like, you know, that shaped wrestling for the next 20 years pretty much.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. So then so now you're at WWE pretty much, and by this point, like all the other power plant guys like me, Elix Sanders, we're all pretty much done with TV. We're done with WWE. I'm wrestling over in Japan and stuff now. So how's that working out for you in WWE? How was it like transition from WCW to that locker room?
It was tough. It was tough because our work rate wasn't good. Plus new guys coming in. Plus, you know, like, you know, we come in with big bodies and stuff, you know, like that can create some jealousy, you know, like,
especially up there.
So nobody welcomed us really, you know.
Yeah,
weird handshaking stuff. Like, oh, I didn't shake your hand. Like a couple stinkers of a match here and there, you know. Like it just sent us back down to, you know, the minor leagues for a second. You know, me and Sean, which we improved our work rate and come back and you know, did some stuff in WWE. But it was a tough transition.
And then that's when you became the reflection of perfection.
No, actually, I started. You know, this will probably be interesting for the listeners. My main start was, let's not forget, I was selected to be in Evolution. I was slated to be in Evolution. It was me, Flair, you know, Triple H, and Orton. That was my gig.
Well, you and Randy were pretty good buddies at the time.
Yeah,
right?
that was kind of where it came out about. Like, you got two young, fresh guys, and Batista kept blowing out his fucking tricep every other day. You know, so. I kind of got that spot. It was mine. And you know, I'm not going to go too much into it, but it was basically, I was immature. You know, me and Orton would have the fucking best time on the road, in the locker room. And a lot of guys, 99% loved our antics. You know, we had fucking fun. We played these games like fucking so immature, but we got guys like Kane doing it. And we had this one game, you know, those fucking Poland plays, like, you pull the string and it's H horse. It was H horse. You know, so we would go up to, I'd walk up to Kane and I'd pull Randy's string and go T, and you couldn't just say T like, you know, something easy like turtle. You know what I'm saying? It had to be something like T, Tyrannosaurus Billy Goat. And you pull my string. So fucking the big red machine's fucking string, Kane. He's going peacock bunny. And we have 10 Kane jumping around like a fucking peacock bunny. Triple H hated it. You know, just
so did you see this right here? Fun fact: Triple H felt that while Jindrak had the talent, he lacked the maturity for the group and felt that he was dragging Randy Orton down.
And that famous clip of Triple H saying, "Yeah, Jindrak showed up at TV with his black suit on." And I said, "What's he doing here? Me and Rick already decided he's not good for the group." That wasn't the case. Like, he's a fucking liar. Triple H is a fucking liar. He's
a worker.
He goes, he's saying that he pulled Ric Flair, saying, Ric Flair, here's what happened. When we became the group, Triple H wanted to start traveling together. So Triple H would rent a car in the beginning of the loop.
Yeah.
Like a Lincoln. He would drive. Ric Flair was in shotgun. Me and Orton in the back. Okay.
Yeah.
And like literally Triple H wanted to talk fucking X's and O's. Like, okay, here's a scenario, Rick. Hot tag, you're in Memphis, what's the scenario, and you want to talk X's and O's, and that would work for about 12 minutes, and then me and Orton would start talking about our
pull my string, pull my string,
or Mark's got the hottest girlfriend, or Randy's met some girl in the airport, and Rick would want to hear about that. So Rick was like, Marco, he calls Marco, Randall, let it fly. Tell us a story, Marco. Triple H would play along like, like he fucking liked it, but he fucking hated it. He hated it, and he said it. He went to Vince. He told Vince, Mark's not a fit for the group, and Vince says, yeah, he is. And he goes, no, he's not. And Vince says, yes, he is. He goes, just shoot the vignettes with him, and they shot the vignettes with me, and then they pulled the plug, and it was nothing more than immaturity. That's all it was. Yeah. And I wasn't gonna get. Orton wasn't gonna get a third generation Orton his blood. To his credit, he's one of the best workers. He'll probably be one of the best, go down as top 5, the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, at least top 5, top 10 wrestlers of all time. It was in his blood. Third generation. I was just some punk who's gifted athletically, who really didn't love wrestling. If you would ask me, would you rather be a 12th man on the NBA bench and not get a fucking lick of playing time, or be the heavyweight champion in wrestling? I would pick basketball 10 times out of 10 times. That's not, wrestling wasn't in my love. I was just a great athlete, and I had to do something with my time. I wasn't going to be an accountant or something in marketing or sit behind a desk. I had to do something. I had to flap my wings, sort of say, no pun intended, so so I got pulled from the group, and then eventually I became partners with Garrison Cade on Raw, and we had
which has passed away since then.
Yeah, rest his soul, and
yeah, he was a good dude, man.
That's the thing, like, and I had a lot of like. The more I wrestled, the more I was on the circuit and got more into it, the less serious I took it. Unfortunately, the less seriously I took it, and eventually led to my release. And after Garrison Cade and me as tag team, and then a Reflection of Perfection, and then I was with Angle, Luther Reigns on Team Angle, second Team Angle, and eventually that fizzled out, and they got to release me. But like, that's what, like, I mean, look at my partner, Sean O'Hare, died well before his time.
Great athlete, man. Kid was awesome.
Garrison Cade died before his time. My other partner eventually in Lucha Libre USA, Solid, Chris Long, died before his time. Luther Reigns, I think, had a stroke. But
he's still alive though, right, Luther? Yeah,
absolutely. He's still kicking.
That was Horseshoe, they called him, right?
Horseshoe, yep. And so these guys, like,
hey, remind me never to be your tag team partner, Mark.
Well, yeah, no, but my whole gist of this story was like, I took wrestling less and less serious, because the guys who took it serious, like O'Hare, I don't know what exactly caused, after all his wrestling career, but like, you live up to this expectation of having to be a tough guy, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, or it was a different time in the business now than it's compared to then. It was cool to get your bell rung and be fucking on shit street, Goofy Street for 2 minutes, Now it's not cool. Like, all those bumps we took, it was cool to run us into the ground for fucking, for 2020 or something,
8 hours a day.
But they don't, now they, like, I heard they fucking bump minimal in like these wrestling schools, like in the NXT or whatever. And I even heard some people have bump pads and shit. Like, like,
it's babyfied now, man. Everything's babyfied. Nobody's got any balls.
Unfortunately, we had but I just, over time, I just took wrestling less and less serious, and that's why Mexico, Mexico's a great fit for me.
Okay, so how did you get to Mexico then after that?
Well, Mexico was when I got released from WWE. I remember I got released on July 5th, 2005. Okay, and like, I was making good money, but I was spending good money too, So when you're making a good amount of money, and then all of a sudden you go from to 90 days more of pay, and then you're done.
Yeah,
that's like a rude awakening, Like, holy fuck, Like, I just got released. what do I do? Like, okay, there's no WCW. TNA wasn't like that credible yet. It was still coming around, but like, I don't know. I just didn't. It wasn't for me. And so I started going to Japan a little bit, and eventually in 2006, I started doing Mexico, Japan, Mexico, Japan, Mexico, and just kind of comparing. And then what was cool too was I got fired in 2005. I didn't start doing shit until July, and I didn't start doing shit until like May of 2006 because I remember I got on the last video game for even though I got released, I made the last cut for Raw versus SmackDown 2006.
Yeah,
if you got video games, the royalties were fucking sick.
Oh yeah, I wish I would have known. I
think one royalty check. I was released, and I'm thinking my gears were spinning. I was like, man, what do I need a party less. I need to date less, go on less dates. I got to turn it down, like I had a sweet Hummer. And then all of a sudden I opened my mailbox one day and a royalty check came for fucking the video game.
Yeah.
And it was for fucking $53,000. And I was like, I'm going to chill out.
That sounds like Kingpin Angels royalty checks from ECW.
Yeah. I was a match against Nishimura. I don't even know who that. Nishimura?
Yeah, in Japan. I think it was that young kid. He had bald guy. He was kind of tall.
I think he might have been older.
I'm thinking of a different guy then.
I just was lost. Like basically when I went to Japan.
Yeah, because you didn't speak the language, right?
Plus most of my matches just because it was still American style. And like I said, like I was a man, I couldn't figure out a style. Like who was Mark Jindrak? The reflection of perfection. I had nooks and crannies of like success because play this guy. You're saying be this guy, but reflection of perfection. I had Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart. He brought his kitty cat out on the mic. But it was fun with Teddy Long and okay, him. Yeah, we had a really, and to be honest with you, that was probably my best.
Here, did you see that picture? It was up there.
Yeah, that was my best technical match, and we set it up. He was a big baseball fan.
Yeah.
When we were setting the match up, he gave it to me as if we were inning by inning. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's
cool. Up inning by inning. It was weird, but he was like, "Okay, this is the bottom 7. Like you make a little comeback. Like it was like that." And we set it up, and it was really good. And to be honest, that was the match I was most proud of in New Japan because their work rate was high, and like my work rate after WWE was still good, but like I didn't know what were my main moves. Like I look at my.
It's kind of like you lost yourself because you were in transition.
I didn't know like WWE like put the handcuffs on me and a lot of stuff. I'm an athletic dude and I wanted to do athletic stuff, but they always said, what are the cruiserweights going to do? And so that's when I kind of decided like I went to Mexico, and to be honest, Mexico, my first couple matches in Mexico, it was a fucking shit show. And I was like, what the fuck? I came backstage and go, oh my God, like maybe I need to quit wrestling.
Yeah.
And I remember the office saying, that was amazing, in Spanish. Good job. And it was the shits.
Yeah.
All we did was high spots. It was high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot, high spot. Now, you tell me to shine, I'll shine. Like do athletic stuff and shine yourself. And that's when Marco Corleone was born. Mark Jindrak pretty much died. Like,
and you were phenomenal. You were a main staple in Mexican wrestling, man.
I turned that's when it all hit. It all hit at one time. Like it was 2006. I came on the scene. I was a rudo or a heel. There was a Technico and rudo. I was a rudo, a bad guy, and that's what most foreigners do.
Yeah.
3 months though, like because they had that ramp, and CMLL had that ramp. I was running through that ramp dive, which was like, you had that 40-inch vertical plus running fast as fuck down a ramp and then jump. I literally I was crossbodying people and we were landing on the other side of the ropes. Like literally I'd travel 16 feet or 18 feet across the ring. Like,
and you honed that skill at good old days.
At good old, and it was, it was that move made me. And then I started doing shit like, see, all the matches in CMLL were 3-on-3. So I had guys like, we would triple throw a guy off. 2 guys would pick up, and I would jump up and drop kick guys like 8 feet in the air. Like people were just, what the fuck? And then girls liked me there because I was You know, I was
because you're
like,
a hot son of a bitch.
fucking hottie patati, cutie patootie. And I got, you know, and then my first, you know, when I went there, and I'll tell people my main opponent the whole time there.
Yeah.
My first opponents were, and I went with Johnny the Bull first. You know, Johnny was there for a while. Then Kenzo Suzuki, I you know, tagged with him, and like literally we would just do high spots and shit, you know, like.
But now let's give you some props, man. You were the Hulk Hogan of Mexican wrestling, right? I mean, you were.
I was a mixture of everybody, you know, like.
No, but I'm saying you were on top of the ladder there. You couldn't get any higher than you. Right?
I was like a Vampiro, like in the 1990s, you know,
yeah. That's why I try to tell people how
wrestling
you were down there.
Well, wrestling was hot, and here's the thing about wrestling, like when I came on, when eventually what happened was they changed me all those moves, like and my guys I wrestled against were Dos Caras Jr. For you guys don't know, his name was Alberto Del Rio in WWE. Him and Liz Mark Jr. So they spoke English, so we'd show up and be able to put some matches together, in English, and I would, you know, do that stuff, and it was mind blowing for these Mexican fans because they like their high flying shit, but like these guys
were big and high flyer.
Yeah, and these guys, like, and that's when I started getting big balls. Like they said, Marco, why don't you jump over ropes? You know, like the Undertaker dive. I started doing that, but I wasn't jumping on fucking 50 people. I was jumping on one guy. Yeah, I became like a cat. Like I would dive over the ring, do a crossbody. I'd hit the guy's chest and land on my feet. Like the drop kicks, the ramp dives. You know, that made me an instant star. And then what people don't understand is like they changed me over to babyface. Technico, and immediately like I got so over because I started doing that Rick Rude hip swivel, you know, like and that was no matter what happened, you know, guys could boo you if they don't like you because you're a body and you look good and stuff. As soon as I fucking swivel my hips, 6,000 girls in the crowd, fucking and girls screeching in those type of buildings, like, you know, 50,000 people, 14,000 people. Yeah, it was phenomenal, and I got over real quick, and then what happened was I learned Spanish along the way. So by 2006, I'm getting to Mexico. 2007, I changed over to the babyface, and like maybe 2 months I remember how it all changed one day. I can remember one day where people would know I did something. I walk around Mexico, and people like, you know, like look at him, like, you know. But like one day I was in Starbucks, and I remember. I ordered a fucking caramel macchiato and a grande, and the guy, ¿Cuál es tu nombre? You know, what's your name? And before I could say Marco, one guy from goes, "It's a Marco Corleone!" And Starbucks fucking flipped the fuck out. All the patrons in there went crazy. All the workers went crazy, and just hit differently. I remember it was a Starbucks, and then afterwards, me and my boy Alex Kozlov, shout out to him. He was a star in Mexico as well. We went to the mall and just life changed. I was over as fuck, like super, super over. And then you take that fucking fire. Then I learned Spanish, and then I started getting on all the hot primetime Mexican TV soap operas. You know,
I remember that. Yeah.
And the first soap opera I ever did was called Por qué el amor manda. And what happened with that was I was in the first episode. I was a Russian mobster that set the main character up as a mule. You know, I put money, and like what happened was I was only slated for one episode. And what happened was in my last line I was supposed to have was the lawyer was inside. I basically used him as a mule. He told the cops on me, stooged on me like a fucking mark. And basically my scene in the behind bars, my lawyer was in there. He goes, "Yeah, Uri was my name." He goes, "You know, basically Jesus Garcia, that was his name, the character, he sang, he fucking stooged you out." El infeliz de Jesus Garcia, lo voy a hacer picadillo. And that phrase, lo voy a hacer picadillo, means I'm gonna make chopped meat of you. It was like a fucking like it was like if you fucking taunted someone on TV today and you said, "I'm gonna make chopped meat of you." Like fucking funny. And what happened was that phrase, te voy a hacer picadillo, I said it so peculiar and so weird. Now, grant you, this soap opera was opening night. This is when opening night. The ratings were 33. Okay. You got Raw and Nitro in America doing 4s. I'm doing 33. Half of Mexico was watching it because this was free TV. Not everyone had cable.
Yeah.
But everyone had the free Televisa was called.
Yeah.
Free TV. On that night, that Te voy a hacer picadillo fucking trended on Twitter in Mexico. Trended on Twitter. The next day, it got such a stir because it got over like, you remember in the 90s, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah,
He's the baby.
So it was like that line.
What happened was it crossed over in Spanish, just like it hit my accent hit like Arnold Schwarzenegger's did here.
Yeah,
so
I get you.
Essentially like an Arnold Schwarzenegger of like acting on TV. Anytime a big guy was needed, a thug, a mean guy, a foreign asshole, no casting. I got it hands down. My job. Boom.
God dang.
That phrase hit. The producer called me the next day. He goes, "It's beautiful, baby. You know, like you're staying in the soap opera. You're gonna be in jail, but you'll eventually get out." So they started shooting scenes, and every single time from the jail shooting scenes, I'd threaten Jesus Garcia. I'd be like, and this guy Jesus Garcia, his name is Fernando. What the fuck is his name? Fernando Colunga. And he was like George Clooney of Mexico. Okay. He was an honorable actor, like big time. And I'd fucking every single scene, Jesus Garcia, picadillo, and fucking calm down. Yep, that's him, Fernando Colunga right there. And the funny story, well, after the producer, I did 172 episodes. 172. It went from 1 to 100.
Dang.
And which
now, are you under a contract or they're paying you per episode?
They're paying me per episode. But with the great thing,
you made more money that way, right?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't crazy money. Where you make on the back end was you made royalties, which, you know, 3 years later, removed from Mexico, I got a royalty check. Like I called their SAG type. It's called Andy. I called them. I had a $9,400 check waiting for me. Hello, somebody got some new baseball cards. And you know, so basically, but in that novella, in that soap opera, it was by midway, I was super fucking popular to where I was so fucking red hot. Like people thought I stopped wrestling. They thought I was just a full blown actor, you know?
Yeah.
So many opportunities came in that soap opera. Towards the end, it was the lead up scene between me and Fernando Colunga, Jesus Garcia. And I was a badass dude. And
you end up chopping him in the meat?
I did. Literally chopped him in the meat. What happened was the last final scene between him and I was thugging his girlfriend. I was being such a fucking badass. And I gave zero fucks, dude. In Spanish, it's like you got sunglasses on. I was like you. I was never in WWE. I didn't get over because I was a little more reserved. You know what I'm saying? I didn't let it fly. In Mexico, I let it fly because I gave zero fucks. Yeah. And, so we had this scene, final fight scene. This guy Fernando was kind of he was one of those Hollywood type guys, you know, like he was a DDP. Okay. A DDP. Barely wouldn't let you get over. Yeah. I pistol whipped his ass. Okay. I pistol whipped with a fucking gun. He had like a little fucking scratch. Yeah. Gives me a quick jab in the mouth. I'm fucking bleeding like fucking Riddick Bowe hit me in the payday, you know, like whatever. So when I got it time to shine, I shined. I was fucking aggressive as fuck. And this guy, he was probably like, he was bigger for a Mexican actor. He was like 6'1", you know, so that's big for Mexico. Yeah, he looked pretty tall in that picture. He wanted to be a tough guy, and he's like, "No, we're gonna do a scene. I'm gonna stretch the limits for you, buddy. You know, like basically, I'm gonna fucking make you work. And I'm gonna show you that fucking wrestler's gonna show me up." And we studied the scene. We did the whole scene, choreographed it, and we choreographed like a fucking wrestling match. Yeah, and like this guy wouldn't fucking admit it, but like he was taking these fucking bumps on a little ass fucking pad so fucking hard, and basically. Lo and behold, it was one move where I put him in a full Nelson. I was supposed to pick him up and swing him around. Yeah. Back in the camera shot. His foot got stuck in the fucking crash pad. And when I picked him up, all you hear was I tore his meniscus. And he had to have an operation. So for no fucking reason, from that point on, for like 3 more weeks of filming, he had to fucking do it in crutches. God dang. And they didn't even fucking say what happened, like why he had it, because then the producer and him called me on a three-way call, like big producer, big time producer, like a fucking Spielberg here.
Yeah.
And they told me to keep that shit silent because they didn't want to get out that some wrestler manhandled a fucking guy who thought he was a tough guy. Well, basically,
that was more of a work than wrestling.
Yeah, so I was wrestling still. I wrestled, lo and behold, and then fast forward all the way, I won some titles. I was the first ever CMLL heavyweight champion, in 80 years of their fucking company.
Yeah.
I was undefeated. I never ever lost a title. The first time I lost, I was in a tag team with a guy named Maximo and Roosh. Roosh is actually the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion right now.
Okay.
We were 9-0 as defending our titles. I got into a car accident and I couldn't defend it, so they stripped us of the titles, but I never lost. And then I became the heavyweight champion, and I was like 6-0 by title offenses, and I eventually just retired. And I just got injured and never came back to Mexico, and I retired.
So you hurt your shoulder, and that's kind of why you want to get out.
That was it. That was it. And and I came back to America. So with my wife, and I have a child who's 4 years old. His name is Geronimo. My wife is Miroslava. She's an ex-model, ex-professional dancer. She was like a backup dancer, like really good. Like if you take an act like Katy Perry or like a Mariah Carey here,
yeah.
She was like a backup dancer. There's And that was my get up. That was my fucking get up right there. But so I had a wonderful time. I came back. I took the best thing I could out of Mexico. Like memories.
Yeah.
I had a great run. I have like my hand is in like walls. My hands are like plastered in the floor of
in Hollywood, right?
Hollywood type thing,
yeah.
Nothing can ever take that away from me, that soap opera I did and many more like were fucking classics, like classic soap operas, like Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Like they replay, that's why I keep getting these royalties. So lo and behold, like that was my Mexico experience, basically came home and and living a normal regular life,
So then before that you got me in the Lucha Libre USA, which we did for MTV3.
Yeah.
And I think I thank you for that, but I really appreciate you thinking of me, getting me into that, Mark. And it was a cool little thing. We just had people that really didn't know how to run that show. Is that correct? You would say?
Well, it was pretty much the original guy was me and the Steve Shipp. He was our CEO, and then eventually it was me and him who got it going. I found all the talent. Like first, most of the guys were Mexico. Like I set up these guys Mexican.
Dude, that roster was stacked from the fucking bottom.
And then we added. And it was a great thing because I had all the say on the talent. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the talent scout for this guy, Steve Shipp.
So how'd you find RJ Brewer?
Huh?
How'd you find RJ Brewer?
I got a tip from somebody that he was a really good indie worker. And
he's great, man. I still talk to John.
And I mean, just think of all the guys we had. Like there was guys like Johnny. I put all my guys on. That I knew were good. Bull. Yeah, I knew were good.
And here's what I never understood about the wrestling and period. Like with Lucha Libre USA, I was probably the most over baby face, but next to you, of course. You were definitely the top baby face. But when I went out there, Chi, like me and John talk about this all the time. I got the most freaking, I was over.
Bro, big time over.
And then they just quit using me like every other wrestling promotion.
What happened in their defense, we tried doing it legit and we gave everyone we thought it was gonna be bigger than all the original people had like some ridiculous fucking 36 show deal. We planned on running 3 times a month, 4 times a month, and it didn't happen. So guys hit 13 shows out of 36. So we had to unfortunately be under contract obligations. We started bringing new blood, like you and the Johnny and Shane Helms was there for a second, if you remember.
Yeah.
We have guys like Blue Demon, Tatanka, Matt Hardy's wife, awesome, Rebby, and Trinisha, if you remember Trinisha.
Oh yeah, dude. She was my partner, really.
Tigresa, yeah.
Yeah, and, Tigresa Caliente.
Yes, Caliente. Those things basically it was awesome. Albuquerque, if that thing would have kept going, but because that happened, we had to give shows to the guys that were the original members because and then just folded. The MTV3 or MTV2 or the fuck was MTV. MTV. I don't know what MTV was. They just put us in a shitty fucking time slot.
Dude, it was horrible.
They put us between like 8:30 in the morning between two idiot shows. I had a fucking I almost had a politically incorrect R word.
Preston Sanders, Mike Sanders' illegitimate son's monitoring us closely, Mark.
Yeah, he's gonna delete me.
Okay, let me ask you this one question. I was trying to remember this. Remember when everybody would get on the bus and they'd walk down the aisle? What the hell would we all chant like Bossarella? Remember when everybody got on the bus? It was like they were walking down the runway and we're all chanting.
Yeah, and everyone, do some grab ass hit.
What were we saying?
Passarella means like runway, like basically, like a fashion show.
Is that what it was?
Through the runway, but it was like had a gay twist on it,
and I remember the first time we did it, Lismark was walking, Lismark Jr. And then everybody, all the Mexicans started saying it, and then we all did it. Then every time someone got on the bus, it was Bossarella, and then we'd all dance or whatever.
what a fucking great crew, man.
It was a great crew, man. I love that damn crew.
Yeah, it was a great crew, and
so okay, not to cut that off or nothing, but I want to give you a chance. We have run over on the show, but we'll just keep going, Mark. But if you don't mind,
yeah,
I want you to have a chance to explain what happened in the Buffalo situation with Paul Orndorff and your side of it, so you can defend yourself finally, officially.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't want to I don't want to beat a guy when he's down, Paul Orndorff.
No, we're not trying to bury him. We just want you to tell your side of the story so you can get it out there.
The thing of it was Paul Orndorff, when he was training us, would always fucking preach these things, he had a good run. He was great, he was in those 80s that WWF, and he had runs with Hogan, Mr. Wonderful, man of the pile driver. So, although Sarge was our trainer, Paul Orndorff had made it, you know what I'm saying? Because you kind of wanted to listen to him because you felt it, but he was a lot about putting himself over. He was a tough ass bastard, but he liked to put himself over too, and he would always say things like, always call in the ring. We never set up shit in the, in the back, and I never blew up, and I never did, and it was always like, okay, we believe you. But then when we had that gimmick, when it was like the 5-on-5, 6-on-6 match, where he was like the special undercover wrestler for Team Filthy Animal,
came out under a hood with his head down.
He freaked out, did some weird thing. I don't know.
Now, leading up to this, I remember backstage all day long, Mark, and I'm sure you remember this. He went over that match 5,000 times. We're trying to eat and catering. He's going over it in the middle of the table, sitting there running the spots when we're trying to eat. Yeah,
and it was like it was like a poetic justice kind of. It was like. Now this guy, the legend, is fucking running around. We're cool as a cucumber. We're cool as the other side of the fucking pillow. We're like,
yeah, right. I do remember. I will tell you this: Orndorff was a fucking wreck all day that day. He was all over the place. He kept going, "Hey, you got the spotter." I remember I wasn't even in the match, and it was like I was in it because I had a run in, so I had to be there for a little bit of it to see what was going on when I came in. And he kept going to every one of you guys. Okay, you remember this? We're gonna do, I'm gonna boot you, and he never stopped all day. Like I don't think he even ate or drank nothing because he was so worried about the match. Yeah, and you remember he was in phenomenal shape. Phenomenal. Oh, dude, he looked incredible that day. Yeah. So he comes, and basically when his time was basically get in, we were rocking him. We had like a 5-2 lead, and then he was supposed to make a little run on us and knock some people out. If I'm not mistaken, he went ahead and it was a. Well, first of all, what happened was he blew up. He blew up, first of all. Well, yeah, he was running the spots, and he ran a beautiful spot with Johnny the Bull, okay, where he looked good. Yeah. Johnny the Bull threw him off, went for a back body drop. He came in, set him for a pile driver, got him up, boom, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Now, that point in time, that's when me and O'Hare were supposed to go in there. He gets the pin, but we beat the fuck out of him, okay? Yeah, yeah. I remember going in and beating the fuck out of him. I could see like he was breathing hard. He did his little fucking little part, which blew him up. And then now he's got to run the real spots with me and O'Hare. He's got to get me out and then eventually get O'Hare out. Okay. And that's when I think I started coming down to the ring. Yeah. We beat his ass in the corner, threw him off. You remember he fucking pulled his fucking hamstring. He grabbed his hamstring. Yeah. I can see Sanders doing that a million times. He, I believe,
we did that thing where I jump off O'Hare's back and hit him with the crossbody, and I land on the outside.
Yeah.
You got to stand up for that. Give me room to land. I like guillotined his head off. If he was in position.
Because he was blown up. He couldn't stand up.
O'Hare, he spun around, and O'Hare was supposed to that beautiful spin kick.
Yeah.
You can hear O'Hare. If you go back to that, if you really listen, he says, "Duck, Paul."
I do remember that, duck, Paul.
Says, "Duck, Paul." Paul ducked last fucking second. And then after he ducks, he's supposed to fucking give him a shot that knocks O'Hare out of the way.
Yeah.
And then I'm coming with a springboard. I'm midair going, "Duck, Paul."
Yeah, he's supposed to duck. Yeah, I remember that.
Ducks. I feed into the fucking pile driver. He was so blown up, dude. And I will admit, our timing was off. It's a 1-2 dip go. Where our dip was off, okay? But like, it's a pile driver. If you
didn't do it on purpose.
Power bomb. A pile driver. You could dead ass me on a pile driver.
Yeah.
I'm getting you up, dude. I'm picking you up from your ass and your legs.
Yeah.
And he just didn't have enough strength. He got me up, and he had that fucking stinger.
Yeah.
And the funny part that was never, the guy was down, but it wasn't funny. But looking back, and he was okay, and he eventually became okay with that.
Everybody was running around him.
We're running around. Chuck, we're running. Chuck was running a fucking
with Ray, I think. And
he goes around like Paul's in the line of there. So Chuck runs around him, keeps hitting, runs. Ray gave him a fucking face blaster or something. And landed on Paul's arm. And Paul's just
because when I was out there, Paisley's like, "What do we do?" I'm like, "Fuck, I don't know. He's hurt. I don't know what do you want me to do?"
And then they called the match, and that was and for a long time I took a lot of thank God the fucking internet wasn't really around then. Shit, those fucking dirt sheets would have ate me alive.
And they kind of did a little bit anyway, but
yeah, I don't care. They can.
You remember one line Paul always said, "I put asses in seats, kid. You guys haven't done nothing. You want your fucking release? I'll go up to the office right now and get it, kid. You want it?
You want it? I'll get it." And then anytime you want a day off, you go in the office and
put him over.
You put him over. Me and Chuck would go in the office and go, "Man."
Yeah, but you and Chuck didn't have to do that. Chuck would have just said, "I'm fixing your brakes this weekend."
Well, no, I went in. I had my whole thing was, remember my first wife, she was pregnant with my son.
Yeah.
And I was afraid, like, he would,
because he always said, "I miss births." And
I miss births. I wasn't about to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was super scared leading up to it. Like, and I just needed his okay. And one day I got the courage to go in there and pull a little switcheroo. I said, "Paul, here's the deal, man. I've been a little concerned. I'm about to have this baby. It's my first thing. And I remember you put asses in the seat. You miss births, you miss birthdays. But the difference is here, I'm gonna miss my son's birth for Hopkinsville, Kentucky. You missed your son's birth for Hogan. In Toronto."
And I did the same thing to him.
Right. You're going to be with your wife. And I went.
That's how I got I got married. That's how I got my wedding off.
Yeah.
I did the same shit.
Yeah. That's how you do it, Chuck. It was always, but like, it was all part of it, man. It was all part of the journey, all part of the journey. These are all instruments, parts of the stories. Like, if this fuckery didn't go on, we wouldn't have stories to talk about. We'd be sitting here.
I wouldn't have a podcast sitting here talking about it.
Yeah. So we got all these fucking stories that are like, never take away from us. You know what I'm saying? Never can take these stories away from us. We'll have them forever.
That's
and,
right.
And that's a wrap, man. Like, I just, I was always fine. Even people that were a pain in the ass, like, they're all part of our story, like, they're all. Yeah. And, so, being with you guys and it was a great run. Like, I never, I wish we had more good times like we did in those hotel stories in WCW.
With me, you, Ross, and Scotty Saber.
We would play NFL quarterback. Remember Quarterback Crunch? Remember I used to love those Steve Sable, like, the 85 Bears defense. They're coming at you strong. And we got Ross to play. Like, remember we'd have someone stand on the end of the bed. I'd run
touchdown.
quarterback sack you. Bam!
We'd like spear Ross into bed, and he was like in his underwear going, "Oh, I fucking love it."
Ross would get a free hotel because he was the writer for the WCW.
Yeah, we'd all stay with Ross.
We'd all like bring our sleeping bags. All 8 of us.
Me, you, Scotty Oberhausen,
Sanders.
You remember the one time I fell asleep and you guys put a 3-count poster underneath me? It looked like I was hugging it while I was sleeping.
Oh man, don't fall asleep. I remember when Kevin Nash would always stop in late at night after EB fucking tore up from the bar. Great times, man. Best times ever. And I still, man, even like here's the thing, like I'm 44 now, and I'm probably gonna get my knee operated. Right now my ACL's torn, MCL's torn, meniscus torn. It's been torn for 11 years. It's been torn for 11 years because that car accident I said about earlier. My driver, I had a chauffeur in Mexico. My driver flipped the car 3 times. He fell asleep. He flipped it.
Damn.
And I tore my ACL then. So because I was in that TV show, I just decided to go. Didn't get it repaired. I just rehabbed it like like 1980s NFL player. So
that's right. Like Paul Orndorff.
And may I add, let me give you a little more Mexican story. I wrote a book in Mexico. I'm an author of a children's book in Mexico.
Awesome.
And I'm also I actually had my own cologne as well called Strong Mind for about a year. For a season, I had my Strong Mind. So
you got any more of that you can share with us? Maybe you can send me a bottle of that.
I don't have any more of it, but I was on eBay the other day and I saw a lady selling it out of on the other side of the border in McAllen, Texas for like $25 a bottle. I'm getting it.
Hey, give me some of that, kid.
Strong Minds. Turn the pussy away. You're the fucking.
Well, awesome, Mark. Is there any? You have social media? You want people to follow you on that, or how can they follow you on social media? Or you don't want to say anything?
No, I mean I don't even know what my handle is. I think it's like at Jindrak1 for.
That's Instagram, right?
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, like basically in Facebook. Basically, we all comment on your fucking videos and stuff too. So yeah, anyone wants to, you'll see Mark Jindrak. Like Mark R Jindrak. It's just click on and friend request me. I always accept everybody. I'm a fucking Mark.
You fucking Mark.
So we'll link up. So but man, it's always a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking your time away from your kid and your wife.
Yeah, we could have probably went another 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, we went an hour and a half, Mark. So I appreciate your time, buddy.
I'm sorry. Well, you got some work ahead of you, cutting and chopping, Mr. Sanders.
Yeah, right. Dude, this was live, kid. I put asses in seats, kid, live.
Asses in the seats. So, yeah, man.
Listen, Mark, it was a pleasure having you on here, and I'm sure what I would like to say. There's this girl on Instagram that follows me. Her name's official Amy Gower. She loves. I think her favorite wrestler was Sean O'Hare. She was looking forward to this tonight, so I wanted to say hi to Amy Gower and have you say hey to her. Yeah, hey Amy Gower. I see you all the time on Instagram. I believe she has a Natural Born Thrillers page, right? She made. Yeah, I think she does. Yeah, maybe something like that. WCW Natural Born Thrillers. It's called. Yeah, always appreciate that. Thanks to Annette for checking in with us again tonight. I love you, Annette. Thanks for checking in with us all the time. Definitely. Thank Mark for your time, man, away from your kids. So we're going to head on out of here, but stick around, Mark, till after the video. I want to talk to you for a second. We'll do, man. Thanks. All right, Mark. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for watching Get Funked, everybody.